Okay, so this is a different type of video for today. I'm going to be showing how you can make logos like this. I made a post on Reddit a little while ago showing off this logo, and I had some people ask me, how do you make that kind of stuff? And I couldn't really give much more of an example or an answer other than just GIMP. And I'll show you guys how to download that program. It's really quite simple. You just go to their website and you just click download and you select where you want it to go, and once it's installed on your computer it's ready to go. It can be RAM intensive depending on what you're going to be doing, and for this particular project it definitely is going to get a little RAM intensive. This is not a full tutorial on how to use GIMP per se, and there's probably a better way to do what I'm about to do, but this is just the way I've done it. So the first thing you'll want to do is go to a website like this. I'll leave a link in the description where you can pick out a font for yourself. I'm just going to use a font that I've already got installed, but you can do this with any of these fonts you see here, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be Sonic related. It could be whatever you want. This is just my way of doing it. So there was one other thing I forgot to touch up on. When you download a font off the internet, installing the entire thing is actually quite simple. So you'll just double click on the font itself and then you just click install. If you've got multiple fonts, what you can do is you can actually put them all into a big folder like this, and you can select all of them, and then you just right click and then you hit install right here. And that's literally all you have to do. It's that easy to download custom fonts. So just be careful where you download them from, because some sites do try to put viruses on your computers, but the one that I linked to in the description, you should be safe using that. So first thing you want to do is open up GIMP, and you can either click on the icon, which should be on your desktop somewhere, or you can just come down here, type in GIMP, just click on that and it'll open the program. Okay, so once the program is open, you're going to want to create a file. You just hit new up here. And now the file size can be whatever you want. For this, I'm just going to do 1500 by 1500 just for the sake of keeping it simple. Next thing you want to do is click on the text tool right here, and then you come over here to select the font that you want. We'll go for, let's see, where's the Sonic one at? Here we go. Nice Sega Sonic. Then you just create a little box out here, start typing a few things, and then we'll just do that, and then I can adjust the size right there to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and let's change the text itself to say something else. We'll just make it my logo. Let's see. So we'll grab the move tool here, kind of move it around a little bit. Go back over here. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, there we go. And then shrink it down. Nope, that's making it bigger. Shrink. Grab the move tool, kind of just position everything. Okay, so now we've got our text. So you're still going to want to leave the alpha on the selection though, so just keep doing that right there. And then what you can do is right click on this little bar over here and hit new layer. You just hit OK, it doesn't matter what it's named. And then what you can do, let's see, they've moved a lot of stuff around on me. Let's see, so I'm looking for the gradient tool, so that's going to be G. So now that I've got the gradient tool, I can come over here and I can select a different color. I'll just do custom. I'll start from the top and just drag my way down. My phone is going off. Anyway, click on this top node. You can change that color to be whatever you want. I'm gonna want that to be orange. And then I'll hit OK. I'll change the bottom node. I'll leave that as white. So I'll kind of adjust these to create a better looking logo right there. And now that we've done that, we just hit enter, and the gradient has been added to it. So we can deselect that, and you can see it's added like this really cool shader to it. And that alone makes a pretty good looking image, but there's still more that we can do here. So we're gonna alpha to this again. We're going to hit select up here, and then we're gonna hit grow. For this, I'll probably do 20 just to see how that looks. Okay, that's actually perfect. And then we're going to come over here and create another layer. Drag that downwards a little bit. You want this to be the lower layer because of what we're about to do. You hit Shift B, then it switches it back to the bucket. Next, it doesn't really matter what color you make this because you're going to... Actually, no, I don't have to fill anything in at all. So we're just going to hit G, and we're going to use the gradient tool again. This time we're going to go from the bottom up. This will create a nice little dynamic range for us. But I don't want it to be the exact same color because although that right there still looks nice, it's still not quite what I want to go for. So I'm instead just going to make it white, and then the top part can be more of a... the top part could probably go purple. We can make that more of an off-white, I think. Then we hit enter. Oh, hold on. Hit enter again. There we go. Now we can deselect that again, and we've made a really cool looking logo right there. Actually, I did that wrong. Hold on, we're gonna redo that. Because I want the darker node to be on the bottom, and I want the brighter node to be on the top. Just kind of line it up as best you can. It doesn't really have to be perfect because realistically no one's gonna notice. Okay. And so I could just stop right there because that's a pretty good looking logo. But let's see, let's say I want to add some extra text down here to make it look more like that Sonic logo. What I did for the original logo was I just created a box using the selection tool, adjusted it to be about the same size as the text, and then I took the bucket tool, Shift B, and then what I did was I filled it in with red. You don't have to do that, and for this particular one, I'm not going to use red. I'm going to use more of a yellow, I think. Kind of a goldish yellow. Okay, so we can deselect that now. And if you want to move it around just a little bit, actually, hold on. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to add this to a new layer, just for the sake of keeping things separate. Okay, so then we fill that in, we can deselect it. If you click on the move tool and just click on this, you can actually use the arrow keys on your keyboard to slightly shift it back and forth to better position it if you think that it's not quite center. And then I will create a new layer where I will then get the text tool again. This time we're going to only put it within this box. We'll make that white for now just so we can see it. Oh, it didn't do it. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to shrink it down so that it will actually fit in there a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. What do I want it to say down here? We'll just call it Trinema Productions. Why not? And then what I will do is I will shift this over a little bit to center it just a little bit better. Select any other tool to move it, and then much like the previous thing, you can just click on it, and then you can just kind of slightly move it around. Actually, move only the active layer. It's usually a good idea. So if you go to the move tool, just click on it, just hit move to active layer, or move the active layer. That'll make it to where it will only adjust the layer that you have active and not just everything. That might not be perfect, but it's good enough for me. In fact, what I could probably do is just come over here real quick, shrink this down to fit that a little bit better, then go to the move tool. That'll help me align it just a wee bit better. Okay, still not done just yet. Let's see. Okay, so that layer's not anything right now. We can come back to the gradient tool. We're going to, forgot, alpha to selection on the yellow bar. We're going to change the colors of it. I think I want the dark side to be up, so I'm just going to shift these around real quick. And then I want the purple side to now be kind of a nice buttery yellow. And then we're going to make the other side just a little bit darker. Then click on one of the nodes again, hit enter. Then I can deselect it. And voila, we have a fancy looking logo, but we could also do it to this if we want to. So let's create a new layer. We can delete the text now if we want. As long as the selection is there, we should be fine. Go back to the gradient. Select the colors you want. I'll make that a nice bright white, and then the bottom will be more of a dark gray. I will move these nodes closer together to create more dynamic look. Hit enter, deselect it, and voila, we've just made a really cool logo. And now what we can do is we can right click on this over here, and we can, actually, before we do that, it's usually a good idea to hit save. So I'm just gonna hit save as. I'm gonna save this to my GIMP files. We're just gonna call it trainer underscore productions. Hit save. It's usually a good idea to do that so that you don't lose any of your progress. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit merge visible layers. And so now all of that is just one layer. So I can come to the move tool and I can click and drag it all around and it's gonna do the full thing. I just hit Control Z to put it back at the center. I can hit alpha to selection, and then I can come back over to image and hit crop to selection, deselect it, and now we've got a logo. So you can do this just with any kind of text. Again, I just use the fonts that I already had just on my computer, but you can use pretty much anything. It's pretty easy, all things considered, and there's probably a better way to do this, but this is just the way I've learned to do it as I've experimented with the program. So I'm hoping that this will have helped you guys in some way. I hope you can take this knowledge and run with it, create your own unique logos, and if you've come up with something real cool, leave a link in my comment section and post it on the internet somewhere and I'll take a look at it. So oh, and one more thing, just make sure when you're done you can hit export. Make sure it's going to the folder that you want it to go to. You can leave it the same name. I usually do that, and then I usually just leave it as a PNG file, and then I just hit export. Then you'll have to hit export one more time. There's a bunch of other settings here, but I recommend just don't messing with that. Hit export, it'll do all that for you. And then, boom, you're done. You come over to your file manager. And in your file manager, you can search up the name and voila, it's right there. So you can double click that and you can open it now, and you've got a really nice looking logo. Now I'm probably not going to use this logo for anything in particular, but I really like the way it came out either way. So hope you guys learned something from this, and hope to see you guys again soon.